los juegos que quedan por salir este año que son interesantes.
This year has been jam-packed with huge video game releases, but guess what? It is somehow not over yet. Here are the biggest games coming out in the rest of 2023. Now, before we get into it, friendly reminder that release dates change all the time and that this video is by no means a complete comprehensive list, but hopefully it's a nice roadmap for some of the bigger.
Es verdad, el Warhammer también sale este año.
Assuming they don't get delayed. First up, Starfield. That's a big one.
Vale.
It's out September 6th for Xbox Series and PC, or September 1st if you got the extra.
Le tengo ganas a Starfield, no es coña.
Basically Skyrim in space, or Fallout with less 1950s music and more freeze-dried ice cream, but you probably already knew that. PS5 owners don't feel left out because you
Baldur's Gate 3 en Play 5.
Massive RPG that day.
Vale.
Baldur's Gate 3, which is all the fun of a D&D campaign without any of the headaches of coordinating the schedules of your flaky party members. Unless, of course, you're playing co-op, in which case that still might be an issue. On September 8th, NBA 2K24.
Para que no me interesa, pero bueno, entiendo que es un juego interesante para los fans del baloncesto. Hostia, los Baten Kaitos, no me acordaba tampoco de esto ya. No me acordaba de los Baten Kaitos, tú. Qué ganas tengo a este. A este le tengo ganas, ¿ves? La of Peasy. A este sí le tengo ganas.
You'll be able to smoke cigars until you turn into a donkey. Not enough games let you do that. Still on September 19th, Mortal Kombat 1.
¿Es el mismo día? Es el mismo día Mortal Kombat y el Ace of P, me acaban de joder. No sabía que era el mismo día, qué mierda, tío. Qué mierda. Creí que era un día distinto, tío.
On September 21st, it's time to get the crew back together to pull some
more qué putada,
Payday 3, which will be hitting new gen PC.
Qué putada porque me vi también los dos.
In Manhattan. On September 26th, you can return to Night City in Cyberpunk 2077's presumably massive.
¿Sale ya Phantom Liberty en septiembre?
The dulcet tones of one Idris Elba,
Hostia,
as well as a ton of new changes to gameplay, which will also be patched into the base game for free as well. On September 29th, Cocoon comes to everything. This is a neat puzzle adventure game from one of the gameplay designers of Inside and Limbo, and it might look more colorful and cheerful than those, but you can bet it probably has some equally tricky puzzles to figure out as well.
Hostia.
On October 6th,
¿Sale también esto?
the electric rat is back on the case when Detective Pikachu returns to Nintendo Switch.
Disguises are a key part of detective work.
Quit goofing off and investigate.
On the 10th, Forza Motorsport hits Xbox Series.
Septiembre viene fuerte,
So you can make a bunch of very pretty cars, drive
Septiembre viene fuerte de cojones. A ver,
a big crunchy Souls-like running on Unreal Engine 5, which features a cool mechanic where you can use a magic lantern to peer into an alternate spooky dimension where everybody wants to kick your ass even more than they do in the regular one. That's on new gen and PC. On October 17th, Remedy's fan-favorite novelist is
Alan Wake
back in
también,
the
madre
long-overdue
mía.
Alan Wake 2, which is being touted as a proper survival horror game. I'm not sure how the first game wasn't already.
Alone in the Dark también, es
I'm also
verdad.
not complaining because I like being frightened sometimes. Bring on the scary antler guys. On October 20th, Spider-Man 2 swings onto PS5, and if you haven't been keeping track, this long-awaited
No tiene sentido este año, tío. No tiene sentido. No tiene sentido. Qué barbaridad. Qué puta barbaridad.
I hope so. I want to kick his.
It's Morbin time.
That very same day, Super Mario Bros. Wonder will leave you wondering why there's a new power-up that turns Mario into an anthropomorphic elephant instead of making him don an elephant costume like his other power-ups. Like, seriously, Tanuki Suit, Frog Mario, and Cat Mario are all just like magical Kigurumi.
O sea, me sigue pareciendo una puta locura que el mismo día salgan Mario y Spider-Man. ¿Qué cojones, tío? ¿Qué cojones, tío?
But this one is something else. A little bit more Dr. Moreau. Kinda makes you wonder. On October 24th, the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 brings MGS 1, 2, and 3, basically everything, which is good news because these games are awesome, and the first one in particular has been infuriatingly hard to play by legal means. If you prefer something even more complicated and twisty and turny than Hideo Kojima's storyline, that same day you can become a civil engineer, track of them moving into your city until they die of natural causes, or murder? Alone in the Dark, a full modern overhaul of one.
Queda, por cierto, por anunciar o por salir el tráiler del Dark Pictures Anthology, que aún no sabemos nada de él. O sea, está anunciado, pero no hay ni tráiler ni nada del juego todavía. Igual se retrasa, ¿no? Yo no lo sacaría en octubre, con Spider-Man, Mario, esto el Alan Wake 2. Es que no tiene sentido sacarlo ahí. O sea, este año yo me lo saltaría, porque es que es absurdo. Es que no tiene sentido sacarlo este año ya.
At some point in October, Ark Survival Ascended is supposedly launching in early access. That is the fully overhauled redo of the original Ark that is now running in Unreal Engine 5, which should hopefully hold fans over until the sequel eventually drops next year or whenever. On November 2nd, Star Ocean: The Second Story R arrives on Switch, the PlayStations, and PC, offering a classic JRPG, which is bordering on a retro game at this point, considering it first came out in 1998. That same day also sees the release of Thirsty Suitors, which is at least
A ver, el mes loco es octubre. O sea, octubre es una puta fumada, tío. O sea, que septiembre tiene Mortal Kombat y Lies of P el mismo día, de acuerdo. Pero octubre, tío, es una locura. O sea... Y Silent Hill 2 sigue sin fecha. Y no descarto que en la Gamescom tengamos fecha del puto Silent Hill 2. Y no descarto que salga en octubre. O sea, es que vaya puto mes.
Actually a dating sim, but it also involves cooking, I think, and turn-based combat, and maybe rollerblading. So basically what I'm getting at is that it's an indie game that is trying something new. That's on everything. On November 3rd, Wario is once again here to torment us with his wares, and this time around it's getting physical in WarioWare Move It. That's on Switch, and I'm so excited to injure myself playing this game. On November 10th, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man...
Es verdad que sale también un Yakuza. Sale también el siguiente Yakuza. Ay, mi puta madre.
Who erased his name is the latest installment in the Yakuza series that recently rebranded its name, and the hero might have erased his...
De hecho, el segundo Yakuza del año, ¿no? El Ishin salió en febrero, creo que era. O en enero mediados.
Name, but it would appear that it is none other than the OG, wonderful Yakuza hero, Kazuma Kiryu. But really, leave this man alone. He's trying to take a break. He was going to call it quits after 6, but then they pulled him back in just when he was trying to get out. They brought him back, and now they're fighting him with garbage cans and traffic cones and stuff. Let him be. Dude wants to chill.
Just when I thought I was out.
Day 4 is out, which looks like The Last of Us.
Day Before, bueno, este supuestamente era un hoax, ¿no? Este era fake, en teoría, todo lo que había enseñado y tal. ¿Tiene fecha? O sea, 10 de noviembre. Este creo que era humísimo, ¿eh?
For The Rest of Us, and hopefully it's in better shape than the initial gameplay reveal back in February. On November 14th, Hogwarts Legacy finally comes to Switch, and I think we know who the real wizards are. The developers who managed to squeeze this massive modern game onto Nintendo's hardware. Better late than never, I guess. 17th, the beloved Super Mario...
Buah, este voy a jugarlo con un gusto, tío. O sea, tengo unas ganas de jugar al Mario RPG este que no os podéis ni imaginar. O sea, no diré que tengo más ganas que del Wonder, porque el Wonder es un juego nuevo al fin de cuentas. Pero este juego, tío, el original, lo adoro, tío. Me da miedo rejugarlo, pero voy a rejugarlo seguro. Pero, joder.
RPG Legend of the Seven Stars gets
Qué
a
guapo,
brand
tío.
new proper fresh coat of paint on Nintendo Switch. Also on Switch, plus all the other consoles, is Persona 5 Tactica.
Persona 5 Tactica también, es verdad.
Morgana and friends loose in a new tactical strategy adventure, and I think the only genre of video game that hasn't been Persona 5'd yet is like the kart racer, which really wouldn't even be that much of a stretch, because that cat can turn into a van. On December 7th, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora lets you immerse yourself in the universe of James Cameron's
Es que vaya año,
profitable movie franchise, and Avatar sells movie tickets.
Vaya año, en lo tonto, tío.
Goers, but will it sell games? I'm curious, but if nothing else, this basically looks like a Far Cry game with rideable pterodactyls, which sounds sick. That's on new gen and PC. A bunch of other games are also expected in 2023, but as of recording this video, they don't have dates. So by the time you hear...
No va a salir Silksong este año, ni harto de vino. O sea, ni de coña sale Silksong este año, no tiene sentido. Y Hades 2 se va a retrasar. O sea, tengo la sensación de que a día de hoy las compañías sacan los juegos en 2023 para decir que salieron en el mejor año reciente de la historia. En plan, para haber estado ahí, aunque no tengan ya visibilidad. Decir, hemos salido en 2023, en el año que todo el mundo recuerda por esto y esto. ¿Sabes? Vaya locura de año, tío. Vaya puta locura. No tiene ningún sentido. No tiene ningún sentido. Este se canceló, ¿no? Este no era el juego que estaba haciendo Daedalic con Gimli. Que chaparon el estudio, estaba haciendo un segundo de Tolkien y tal, que era el de Gimli. ¿No serán ellos u otro?
But either way, check your local listings to be 100% certain. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is the long-awaited chainsword cool set in that grimdark hellhole of a universe, and it looks like a blast. That's on new gen and PC. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl has had its
Este supuestamente, según rumores, sale el 1 de diciembre, ¿eh? Supuestamente.
development seriously disrupted by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but more importantly, the people making it have had their lives disrupted. So if that comes out this year, cool, but if not, that is totally fine, and hopefully everyone involved is safe and sound. Hollow Knight Silksong has been in the works for ages, and it's
No va a salir este juego en la puta vida. No va a salir este juego nunca, tío. Es increíble. Increíble que no va a salir nunca.
seems realistically possible that it'll drop sometime soon, and if it does, it'll be on everything, and I mean everything, including macOS and Linux, which is maybe one reason it's taken so long. The Lord of the Rings Return to Moria looks like Deep Rock Galactic by
Este creo que estaba cancelado, pero igual no es de Daedalic, ¿eh?
way of J.R.R. Tolkien, and that's supposedly coming to new gen and PC this year, but considering how Gollum turned out, maybe just keep it in the oven a little bit longer. The Batman Arkham trilogy is coming to Switch, which probably could have called it a day by including Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and the red-headed stepchild that is Arkham Origins, but thankfully it properly caps off the Rocksteady Bat triptych with the proper third entry, Arkham Knight. And finally, the open-world multiplayer Cozy Sim Palia is getting an open beta on Switch and PC at some point. And there you go. What are you playing the rest of the year?
Es que me parece una puta fumada. A ver, para mí, lo más crítico de todo es octubre y septiembre. O sea, lo más crítico de todo lo que hemos visto ahora mismo es, para mí, esto. 19 de septiembre, Lies of P y Mortal Kombat. Esto a mí me mata. Esto a mí me mata por dentro. Esto me puto revienta porque quiero jugar a los dos, tío. Quiero jugar a los dos, tío. Y después de esto llega octubre, o sea, que es el otro mes jodidísimo. Porque a mí Mirage me suda la polla, Forza no me interesa. Pero con Lords of the Fallen estamos hablando de una cosa distinta, porque sí que quiero jugar a Lords of the Fallen, al nuevo. Sale el día 13. Y luego el día 20, Mario y Spider-Man.
Where you can use a magic lantern to peer into an alternate spooky dimension where everybody wants to kick your ass even more than they do in the regular one. The long overdue Alan
Claro, y Alan Wake el 17.
Wake 2, which is being touted as a proper survival horror game. I'm not sure how the first game wasn't already survival horror, but I'm also not complaining because I like being frightened sometimes. Bring on the scary antler guys. On October 20th, Spider-Man 2 swings onto PS5, and if you haven't been keeping track, this...
Este día es surrealista, tío. O sea, este día es surrealista. Spider-Man y Mario el mismo día. Es que me cago en los putos muertos de los que decidieron hacer esto, tío. Lo que hacen para ganar 4 duros y ganar uno a otro, ¿eh?
Will Morbius be there? I honestly don't know. Maybe? I hope so. I want to kick his... That very same day, Super Mario...
Mira esto, tío. Qué bonito pinta este puto juego, tío. Es que pinta precioso, ¿eh? Pinta precioso el Mario Wonder, tío.
Brothers Wonder will leave you wondering why there's a new power-up that turns Mario into an
Qué pasada es esto, tío.
anthropomorphic elephant instead of making him don an elephant costume like his other power-ups. Like, seriously, Tanuki Suit, Frog Mario, and Cat Mario are all just like magical Kigurumis, but this one is something else. A little bit more Dr. Moreau. Kinda makes you wonder. On October 24th, the Metal...
Y luego Metal Gear. O sea, es que me pongo a hacer un cálculo mental y para jugar a Alan Wake 2 tendría que pasarme primero el primero. Para jugar... O sea, de aquí quiero jugar a Metal Gear Solid 2 porque me pasé el primero el día 1 de enero. O sea, empecé el año con el primer Metal Gear y quería jugar al segundo también. Y si ponen el tercero también quiero jugar al tercero. Pero ¿cuándo los puto juego? Y quería jugar las campañas de todos los Mortal Kombat antes del Mortal Kombat 1. Y así con todo. Y así con todo. No me da la puta vida, tío. Entre lo que sale y lo que quiero jugar de cara a lo que sale. Qué locura, tío. Menos mal que tengo Blasphemous ya jugado. O sea, que ya para Blasphemous 2 voy al día, ¿sabes? Menos mal. Y luego digo 13 horas hasta las Fallen. Soy gilipollas, tío. Soy gilipollas. Tenemos que planificar el este, ¿eh? Tenemos que planificar esto. O sea, no tiene ningún sentido este año, tío. No tiene ningún sentido. Madre del amor hermoso.